Web automation is one of the most easiest ways of automation, but only if you find the proper selectors, right? So this is one of the major challenges that we face whenever we are doing the web automation, that is finding the unique and static selectors. So here, whenever if you have already faced these kind of difficulties in finding the right selectors, then this is the best and right workaround to get the unique selectors, which is find children. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about find children, how you can actually use the activity, what are the different types of properties, and how you can get the proper static selectors by using find children. And I'll explain you all the functionality behind the find children. And by end of this video, you will understand how easy it is to use the find children when you find difficulties in finding the proper selectors. So if you're watching my video for the first time, this is Harika and welcome to my channel. And you can find videos on my channel right from the basics till the advanced concepts. So if you find the videos useful, please do consider subscribing to my channel, and I upload videos on weekly basis, so you can just check it out by hitting the notification bell. And also do give a thumbs up if you like the video. Without any ado, let's get into the video and explore more on find children. So here I have come up with a small use case to make you understand how we can actually use find children. Okay, so first of all, let me go into the Acme website. So here I am. If you observe in this website, when I'm doing a hover on user options, I'm getting something, these four different options, right? Which is download, client, and support. That's what I wanted to click on. But in a usual scenario, how we will actually do it. So let's take a small sequence. Let me give it as a test sequence. Okay. And I'm going to first try to click on that particular web element. Okay. So I'm going to indicate on screen. So how we usually do it, we will give some delay. So after I hover on it, here is my web element. So I'll try to capture this. But if you see, the web element got disappeared, right? So in this case, there are so many alternatives, but find children is also one of the best workaround. So here I will tell you how you can find the selector of that particular web element and how you can actually click that particular web element. So that's the whole idea of using the find children in this video. So first of all, how I'm going to do, let me just give you a brief understanding of what is find children. So I will recreate the whole workflow for you. Okay, so this is my find children. So let's explore what are the properties of find children. So here, if you just observe, the main thing of the find children activity is the selector and the filter. Okay, so firstly, you have to give the proper selector, and also you have to observe something here, which is a scope. Okay, so if you just observe here, we have different scopes. I will talk about these different scopes while we walk through the video. Okay, so firstly, I have to get a proper selector, right? So before I do that, let me give you a small understanding. Okay, so I'm going to inspect this element. So we have to understand what is this parent, child, a descendant, all these different concepts, terminologies. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to inspect this particular element. So if you see here, user options is something that I'm selecting on. It's a drop down, right? So I'm clicking on it, and if you see here, this particular drop down has two elements inside it, which is a button tag and the UL tag. But what is something that I am interested into? So if you see, expand this furthermore, you can see one more tag, which is I, and it is having user options, which is the inner text, right? So this is for user options, but I am interested in these things. So let's see where is that particular thing. So if you say drop down menu, inside this li tag, there is download, client, and support. And inside one more tag, reset test data, right? These are the four different. This is the menu, drop down menu. So change password and check training assignment. So these are the four different things that I'm interested in. So my interest lies in clicking on this particular web element, right? So here we go. We have actually identified where this particular web element is located. It is inside this UL tag is inside this div tag, right? So this is the I can say the path that it has to follow to get this particular web element, right? So this is clear, right? So now what I'm going to do, let's explore a bit on find children. Now I have to indicate the element on the screen. So this is how we will actually do it, usual scenario, right? So I have indicated the element, and let's see what is that particular element. We have taken the div tag. Let's go to UI Explorer and explore more what we have in the attribute section. So in the UI Explorer, this is also something that we can look into. So if you see button and UL, inside button we have user options, but inside UL we have all these li tags, correct? Okay. So now I am interested to get this a name. A name is empty. What is the selector that we have taken? This one, right? User options. Okay. So this is the button, but we are interested in div tag, correct? So this is something which is a parent, correct? So now I will go ahead and select the div tag. No worries, if you do, if you it is a little bit confusing right now, you can understand everything by end of the video. Okay. So okay, so dash menu and the div tag and classes drop down. So fine. So this is something, the selector that I am interested in. Just copy this selector and just paste it over here, which is the same, right? So just say okay. So now let's explore a bit more. And in this, I'm taking the children and the selector, we've got it. So now what I'm going to do, I will show you what are the UI elements. This is the return type of this is UI element. Okay. So let's take a UI children. Okay. The UI children I'm going to take, and let's take a log message. And here I'm going to take UI children dot count. Okay. Perfect. And now what I'm going to do, let's keep a breakpoint here and let's debug this. So this find children will actually try to find the children which are there inside the div tag, and it will give all the UI elements inside it. Okay. So it has come here, right? So now we can just check the output of this. What is the UI children output? It is loading. Okay, so it has given the UI children. Let's see what is the count of it. Okay. Okay, UI children dot count. It is two elements. So what are those two elements? We will just check it out here. So if you see, we have this one. This is a selector. Okay, cache selector, which is having UL tag, and the other one is where is the other one? We have two, right? Here, here. Okay, we can just find it out in this way also. The first one is this. Dot selector. Okay. So this will bring you out the selector. Okay. This one is the selector for the first one. Okay. So this is a button. So if you see here in this, from the div tag, this is the first selector, which is button. And the next selector is, what is the next selector? Okay. It should be one. because there are only two elements. Okay, this is UL tag. Okay, so now let's understand. First one is button and the second one is UL. Correct? We have taken div. Under div, we have two children. This is how you can extract the children. But our interest is inside this one, which is download client and support. So li tag, which is inside the UL tag. That means we should get something which is inside the children. So for that, we will actually use this. We will change the scope now. So what is the scope that we should change it into? So we got the children, but we want something which is inside the children, that is descendants. So just understand it in this way. Um, the div tag. So if you see here, I have closed the div tag, right? So the div tag is the main parent. Okay. Inside the div. Okay. Here is a div tag, right? So the div tag is the main parent. Inside the div tag, we have button and the UL, which are the children. And inside this children, we want something. So in that case, we will use the descendants. Okay. So I'm changing that to descendant. So now let's see how many elements we will get. After this, I will show you how we can actually use the filter also. So it's done, right? So now it has extracted the children. So let's see the count. Okay. So if you see the count is increased to 11. So how come it has come 11? Let's count it. So if you see, this is the first one, right? Button. Inside button we have li tag. Okay. 1 and 2. And then 3. UL is 3. And then 4 and 5. A is also one more tag. Li and A. Inside everything we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Correct? And one more is 11, which is I think div. So what we can do is we can just check everything, what tag is coming up just by using this particular selectors. Okay, the first one is button, we already know. And inside button, we have, inside button, what's there? We have I tag. Let's go and check it here. So inside button, we have I tag. So next one should be UL tag and then second one is UL. It should be UL. Okay. And the third one is LI. It should be LI, right? LI. And then we get A tag, anchor tag. Fourth, anchor, right? Perfect. So one, two, three, four, five. After that, 5 till here 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we got all the 11 elements in the UI children, right? So after that, what is our requirement? We wanted to fetch this particular one. So this is li tag, correct? So now let's use the filter. So just hit on continue. Now let's go ahead and we got everything that's there. Our required element is also there in the particular scope. So now let's go ahead and take the filter. So in the filter, what is the required tag that we want? We want li tag, right? So just change to li. So that is the only thing we need, right? So okay. So out of all the children, we need only li tag. How many li tags are there? Only 4. So now when I run this particular workflow, the count should be equals to 4. Right? So let's check. Count. It's 4, right? So the first one should be 0. It should be li tag. Okay. So perfect, right? So let's take this particular selector and now let's go into UI Explorer and paste this and validate. So if you just observe here, it is valid and the inner text says download client and support. So this is how you can do. Let's check one more thing, which is the first one. So let's copy this one as well. Okay, just paste it over here and just click on the validate button. You can just see if the selector is valid or not, and also you can see it is reset test data, right? So the second one is reset test data. So in the same way, you will get the other two also. So now my requirement is I have to go and click on this particular value. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'll just hit on continue. So now you understood how to actually get the selector from the find children. We have kept the filter ready and everything is available. So now let's go into the workflow and do something which we actually do, right? Click and instead of indicate on screen, just pass the element here. So what's the element that we wanted to click on? It's a UI children and it's the first element, right? So that's it. Say complete and just check this part. So it's gonna go and check the find children. It will take the 4 elements and it has to click on the first element. Okay, it is showing UI element because it is outside of the screen bounds. Okay, so now what we have to do is it has to appear, right? How it will appear? So for that, I will be using, I don't want the snippet. I'm gonna use a hover. Okay, so let's do a hover and indicate on screen. This is the thing that I should hover on for the user options button. Let's take that particular AA name for user options. Let's delete this extra parts. Put a wildcard here. I usually don't prefer spaces in between because sometimes they change. So make sure that you remove them. Okay. So now let's execute this workflow. So it's going into find children, retrieving those 4 and hovering on the button. And after it finds that, it's gonna click that particular download client and support. And it should go into that particular page. So this is how we can actually use find children. I hope this video is clear and we have seen everything right from the basics of how to use a find children in order to get the static and unique selector. So in next video, I will see you with a very interesting topic. So to not miss any of the videos from my channel, do hit the notification bell so that you get the video as soon as I upload them. And don't forget subscribing and also give a thumbs up to this video if you like it. Thank you so much for watching.